A long time ago, in a village called Abaka, there lived a young woman named Uku. She was known far and wide for extraordinary beauty, bright, captivating eyes, and smooth, flawless skin. Her presence commanded attention. Whenever Uku walked through the village people would stop and stare, struck by her unmatched elegance. But there was another side to Uku that everyone whispered about in hushed tones. Though beautiful, Uku was feared. She hated men with a ferocity that puzzled and terrified the villagers. She didn't laugh or smile like other girls at her age. Her face remained stern, her demeanor unapproachable. Men who dared to speak to her often regretted it. If they ventured too close, she would beat them until they could beg.
Before we continue, do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Also, like our video, share it so others can also see it. Do not forget to keep the notifications button on so you can see it anytime we drop a new video. Also, share your opinions in the comments box. Let us continue.
Barely stand. The men in Abaka had learned the hard way to avoid Uku. Blackened eyes and bruised ribs were common, souvenirs of their failed attempts to woo her. Even though many admired her beauty, they feared her far more. Her name became a cautionary tale. Stay away from her, the men would warn one another. She's not like the others. One day, Uku visited the bustling market to buy food. As usual, she moved through the crowd, her expression unchanging, her aura keeping others at a distance. She selected a few vegetables and was about to leave when a young man, distracted and unaware, accidentally bumped into her. Before he could apologize, Uku's hand flew through the air. It was a slap. The sound echoed like thunder, silencing the entire market. The man's cheek turned bright red as fear filled his eyes. He stammered, I am sorry, before turning and running as fast as his legs could carry him. The women in the market shook their heads and whispered among themselves, "She's done it again," they said, but no one approached Uku. The market soon returned to its usual hum of activity, though the fear of Uku grew stronger. Despite her fearsome reputation, many men still wanted to marry Uku. Her beauty was too captivating to ignore. Suitor after suitor arrived, bearing gifts and speaking sweet words, hoping to soften her heart, but Uku was unimpressed. Each man left battered and bruised, some begging for mercy that she never granted. Even the village chief believed his son would win her over. "She won't dare touch my boy," he boasted. But when the chief's son approached Uku with charm and arrogance, he left with 2 missing teeth and a swollen face. After that, no man dared to approach her lightly. The elders of Abaka, deeply concerned by Uku's behavior, summoned her to the village square. Curious villagers gathered to watch, whispering about what might happen. Uku arrived with her head held high, her expression unyielding. "Uku," one elder said, "why do you hate men so much? And why do you hate them? Why do you beat every suitor that comes your way?" Uku's response was calm but chilling. "I will never let a man control me," she declared, "and I will never stop fighting them." The villagers were shocked into silence. The elders pressed her for an explanation, but Uku refused to elaborate. She left the square, her secrets buried deep within her. One fateful day, Uku's tightly held secret finally came to light. It began with a fall. On her way back from the stream, carrying a pot of water, Uku slipped and fell, injuring her foot. A farmer working nearby rushed to her aid. "Let me help you," he said gently, bending to tie her injured wound. But Uku, conditioned by her past, saw his actions as an attack. Bam! She punched him in the face, sending him sprawling. "Don't you dare touch me," she shouted. The farmer, clutching his swollen cheek, tried to explain, but Uku wouldn't listen. He limped away, leaving Uku alone by the stream. Word of the incident spread quickly, adding to her fearsome reputation. But behind Uku's anger was a deep, unspoken pain. Even the village prince was intrigued by Uku. He admired her strength and independence and believed he could win her heart. For weeks, he showered her with gifts and kind gestures. Uku tolerated his presence but remained guarded. Encouraged by her lack of outright rejection, the prince invited her for a walk by the stream. Feeling confident, he reached out for her hand. It was a mistake. To Uku, this was another attempt to control her. Her rage exploded. She struck him repeatedly, leaving him bruised and bloodied. The prince's guards rushed to his aid, carrying him back to the place. When the king summoned Uku to the palace, the entire village gathered to watch. Uku stood before the throne, unafraid, even as the king's voice thundered with rage. "Why did you attack my son?" he demanded. For a long time, Uku said nothing. Then her expression softened. Tears welled in her eyes as she revealed the truth of her past. A childhood marked by violence, a father who abused her mother, and uncles who continued the cycle of cruelty. She said, "I watched my mother suffer in silence." With her voice trembling, "I vowed and I have vowed never to let a man hurt me or any woman again." Uku stands before a grand throne. The king, moved by her story, declared that no one would be forced to marry Uku or approach her without her consent. From that day forward, Uku's reputation shifted. She was no longer just the fierce woman of Abaka, but a symbol of strength and resilience. Though her heart carried scars, Uku's strength inspired change. In Abaka, no woman would ever be forced into silence again.